Yeah, you read the title right. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers almost swapped cities. To anyone who's familiar with hockey, the idea of either of these teams relocating is absolutely ridiculous. But there was a point in time where not only did both of these teams almost relocate, but they almost relocated to each other's cities. It's insane that this actually almost happened. Let's talk about it. Like many Leafs-related horror stories from the 1980s, this story involves former Leafs owner Harold Ballard. He was definitely not a very well-liked figure in the organization, for many reasons, including this one. In the early 80s, Ballard was finding himself in some financial issues. He needed cash quick, so he made a phone call to then Oilers owner Peter Pocklington, who also wasn't that popular as an owner. Ballard wanted to make a deal. The deal was simple. The Leafs would relocate to Edmonton, and the Oilers would relocate to Toronto. On top of this, Ballard also wanted Pocklington to pay him $50 million. Pocklington was on board. He figured he could have made bank in Toronto. The deal almost happened, but Ballard backed out at the last minute. I'm very grateful this didn't happen, especially given the context of the time period. This was right before the Gretzky dynasty started. For those of you who don't know, Wayne Gretzky won 4 Stanley Cups in 5 seasons with the Edmonton Oilers, and it's interesting to think about how a team swap would have affected this. Maybe Gretzky would have won 4 Stanley Cups in Toronto instead. And I'm willing to bet that if that happened, Ballard definitely wouldn't have traded him, and maybe he would have won a 5th or a 6th. And what would have happened if the Leafs relocated to Edmonton? Would they still be in their infamous cup drought? We don't know. But what we do know is that Toronto Oilers would have been a terrible name. Come on, there's no oil in Toronto. I think most people can agree it's a good thing this swap never happened. The fact that it was even a possibility is indicative of what's wrong with North American sports. The fact that a team's identity and connection with the city can just be taken by greedy owners is sad, and it would have been really sad if it happened to the Leafs and Oilers, who are both extremely popular in the cities they play in. But we can all rest well knowing that the worst case scenario didn't come to pass. And thanks to that, these two fan bases can argue about Matthews and McDavid today. Anyways, thanks for watching. Maybe you learned something new, and if not, I hope you enjoyed anyways. Peace.